Hi everybody, my name's Lyn and welcome to my channel, Lyn's Crafts Designs. Today I'm going to be putting together a bracelet. Now I've just got 4 polymer clay beads that I just hand rolled from some scrap of another project I was doing. I've got 4 of those, 4 of the fire polished glass beads. Again, these can both be any kind of bead you want. I've got 8 bead caps for the 4 polymer clay beads and 8 bead caps for the glass beads. 2 tiny little jump rings, some gold seed beads. These are a gold finished head pin. I don't use eye pins just because the length, it's easier for me to just cut the head off and roll 2 eyes on either end. Roll an eye on either end. Then I've got the box of Beebeecraft toggle clasps. Now this time for the gold, I've got a choice of these 5. Silver, gold, and copper. So we'll decide on that a little later. But right now, I'm just going to put together the different sections that will make up this bracelet. So, I'm going to need 4 jump rings for the polymer clay and 4 jump rings for the glass beads. Now most of the time when you get eye pins, some of them at least will be gangly or whatever you want to call them. Wavy. And I know they make a little handheld device that will straighten wire, but I'm not sure it would work for something as short as this. I think it's like 2 inches, yeah. Now, I would never purchase eye pins or head pins that are shorter than 2 inches, because that's just about the limit on length you can use for polymer clay beads. Now, if you're just gonna add, like in the past, I've added wire. Let's use an example. I've had a goddess face and I kinked wire for her, weirdly enough, hair. Wild and stringy hair. But even then, what I did was I embedded the eye pin, the head pin, sorry, with the head down in the clay, which acted as kind of an anchor so that the eye pin wouldn't pull out. Alright, so after finishing straightening all these, and they don't have to be perfect. which weirdly enough I say about almost everything. Okay, just something like that as opposed to something like that. So, I'll be back in a minute when I finish these. Alright, I've just got some, these are round nose jewelry pliers. This pair is ancient. It's probably the first pair I ever owned. And I still use them. So, I'm just going to clip the head off of this head pin. Then I'm going to form a little eye on the end. And I'll get into a little more detail on that in a minute. Then I'm going to put one of the little gold seed beads. Then I'm going to put one of the end caps, and I'm putting it upside down, so to speak. Then I'm going to thread on the bead. Then another end cap, the right way this time. Then I'm going to put another seed bead. So that is as simple as it gets. Now I'm going to take the jewelry pliers, crimp down on the head pin. Now what I'm going to do is just back it off literally a hair, less than a 1/16 of an inch. And then I'm going to bend it back. And I'm not going to go a whole 45 degrees. I'm just going to angle it back. Okay? Then I'm going to hold that seed bead. My index finger just happens to be the perfect measure for where to cut off that head pin. Alright? Now, I'm going to grip the very end, and I'm going to start twisting it back towards myself. Then I'm going to grab where I just twisted and continue to fold it down. Now, before I go all the way, I'm just going to grab the tip and curl it on around. Okay? Now, that should have worked out to where both of the eyes are facing the same direction, but that didn't really work for me this time. So, I'm going to grab it with my other pliers. And just turn them where they're both facing the same direction. Alright? So I'm going to continue and do that with the rest of the polymer clay beads. And I'm also going to do it with the glass beads. And I'll show you again, just so I can cover everything. Alright. I'm going to grab the head pin as close to the end as possible. Just about 1/8 of an inch up the round nose pliers. Alright. Then I'm just going to bend the head pin and form an eye. Then I'm going to grab just below the eye and straighten that head pin back out. Giving it a nice neck that is in line with the eye. Alright, so once again, I'm going to grab one of those seed beads. An end cap. This time I placed it upside down. Or however you want to tell yourself, so that it fits the bottom of the bead. Then I'm going to take another end cap. This time to fit the top. Then another seed bead. Now this time I'm going to pay a little better attention. Alright, I'm going to line that eye up where it's parallel with my own eyesight. Leave that little gap. Fold it back. And cut it off. Okay. Now this time, the eyes wound up the way they're supposed to be. Okay, so 4 of the polymer clay, 4 of the glass, little sections, and I'll be back. Alright, now to start putting them together. I'm going to take one of the eye pins, the eyes that I just made and closed up, and I'm going to just barely open it back up. Then I'm going to thread one of those glass beads sections. Then I'm going to close it back up and just check to make sure I've got it closed. So there is one section. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to open back up this eye pin. I'm going to thread on one of the polymer clay beads this time. Then I'm just going to close that jump ring back down. Alright. Once again, I'm going to open that jump ring up. This time I'm going to put one of the glass beads on. Close it back down. Now this one just almost crossed over itself. There we go. Okay, so in this way you'll see we only have to open one eye pin, one eye on every pin in order to put this bracelet together. Now keep in mind you could do the same thing using just glass beads. You could do the same thing using all polymer clay beads. go. Alright, so I'm going to continue on, put these last 3 on, and then I'll be back and show you how to do the toggle clasp. Okay, now, remember these 2 tiny little jump rings? Okay, when I measure this out, this bracelet measures 9 inches long. That may seem a little long for a bracelet, or the bracelet you're measuring, but just because it's 9 inches long doesn't mean it will fit a wrist that is 7.5, 8 inches. The beads take up a lot of that when you wrap it around a surface. So, let's see. Got these really pretty heart-shaped ones. Let's try one of those. Very pretty and a very nice weight. Okay, we'll take one of these jump rings. Now, I've got a specific way that I go about opening jump rings. I place the opening away from myself. And I grab with the tip of my pliers on one half and on the other half. Then I just twist it away from myself. Okay. Thread the bracelet on. Then thread the bar of the toggle clasp. Alright, you saw that I'll stick my fingernail in that gap. And if I can stick my fingernail in, I need to reclose it again. It's not tight enough. But in this case, I couldn't stick my fingernail in. It's plenty tight enough. So, one more time. Usually I can feel where that opening is. Alright, grip it really tightly in the pliers. Twist it away and then twist it back towards yourself. Once again, cannot stick my fingernail in the gap. Alright. You can see I've got a pretty small wrist, so it goes on just like a bangle. But that's fine for me. I like that. I like that looseness, that bounciness. Alright. So, Beebeecraft. These have been really, really nice toggle clasp. I've really enjoyed using them. So, a great bracelet. Thank you so much for watching. If you got anything useful out of this video, please like, share, and subscribe. All of my social media links will be listed below. My Etsy shop, Amazon shop, that I get a little kickback from, Amazon affiliate shop, Patreon, Facebook group, you name it. They're all listed below. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.